Hi everyone, and today we are going to talk about using plugins in Claude Code. And it's super crazy that not a lot of people are talking about this. Plugins is absolutely game changing when you start using them. Let me tell you what we're going to talk about today. Very simply, how to install plugins, what are they actually, and different places that you can install them from. So let's launch Claude here, and you have this ready. And the first thing that you need to do to get started with plugins is super simple. Press the command and search for plugins. And the first thing that you get is actually a place to search for plugins. And this is crazy if you've not seen this. So you have multiple plugins to look for. You can just go down and see different types of them. So as you can see, we have multiple plugins out here, and you can select any one of them. I'm going to probably select one of my favorites plugin that I've been recently using and have got back into it is Notion. I can press enter and it will give you options now. Where do you want to install this? Right, pretty powerful. So you get a warning here that before installing, make sure what you are installing is actually something that you want to use, because plugins connect with MCPs. They have different files, they have their own commands. I'll explain that all in a second, but it's pretty powerful. So for me right now, I'm just going to say again, install for myself and in this repo only, and I'm going to press enter. And now technically in a couple of seconds I should have the Notion plugin installed. Now after installing, all you need to do is very simply run reload plugins. So search for reload and you'll get the option to reload plugins. And now again go ahead and start with plugins. And now if you come to install, you can see there is already an option of the Notion plugin. I can press enter, and as you can see here that I have multiple options available. I can update this plugin, I can view this on GitHub, I can uninstall this, I can disable this, whatever. I can come back to here, and as you can see, we already have the Notion plugin here, and the only way to toggle is by moving your arrow keys. So you are in the install tab, and here you can see it's trying to connect. So I can press enter and I get the option to authenticate, which simply means that I can now give it access to my Notion library in one single click. Everything that I have on Notion can be connected quite literally by a single URL. I don't need to connect a separate MCP. I don't need to figure out what. It all gets connected automatically. As you can see, get the option to authenticate. I'm going to quickly log in using my credentials, and voila. And now you will get this option after logging in. Select this and click on continue. And automatically this will take you back to your Claude Code. Authentication successful. You can minimize this window and you can see it's connected. So now, as you can see, it has showed up that authentication successful. Now the most easiest way after installation and authentication to use the plugin is by just putting / and writing Notion. And Notion is the name of the plugin, and so you'll get all the different options that come with it. And this is why it's so powerful, because now you don't need to think about commands that you want to give it and it might or might not work. Here Notion has created something specifically for you to get answers to. So for example, I can ask Notion to create a page and it will ask me some questions, right? Again, and I'll simply say Notion create page, and I'm going to say very simply a fun day in AI, and I'm going to say no databases and just some information about how LLMs work. That's it. And with this, it will automatically go to my Notion, create a page, and come back to me with a proper URL. And as you can see, I get an option to confirm this, and I'm going to say very simply yes, and don't ask again, because I'm like, go ahead, create it, it's fine, it's a single page. And the best part is, with plugins, you get kind of a series of actions already built in. Think of it as an app, and that's the best way to think about, right? Again, so very simply, again, it's always that it's creating, again, it's using it as an app. So Notion is an app now connected here, and you can see the plugin, the page is done, and I can click on this, actually open this link and see the Notion page automatically created without connecting an MCP, without figuring out if it works or not, just completely directly ready here. And you can see it's pretty good page. Again, it has everything properly done, all configurations are proper, and it's a proper page in my Notion library. Now just imagine you can do this with Notion. There are so many amazing plugins that exist, and you can do so much more with them. Just to show you an example of what's possible, you have front-end design plugin, you have a Figma plugin, which I believe a lot of you would love to use, and then you also have again, where Playwright, where you can automate your browser using this plugin and really help creating browser automation scripts. So it's a ton of them. Now this is one of those starting parts of what plugins. Now I would definitely suggest all of you to go ahead and start installing plugins and actually use them. I have started adding a ton of them in my different repositories, and they are amazing. Now, coming back to actually understanding what a plugin is, because it won't make sense if you don't know what a plugin is and if you just start using them. So very simply, here is the difference between all the different things that exist right now in Claude. You have skills which can do things, right? There are instructions on like, how can you do something, agents which automatically do things based on your behalf. So you can just have an agent to write a blog post and it will figure out what's the best way to write and go ahead and write it. And then MCPs are simply where you can connect everything outside in a single place. So you can connect it with Notion, you can connect with Gmail and everything else. Plugins is actually where all of these things get completed, because a plugin can have skills, a plugin can have agents, and a plugin can have MCPs. A plugin is like a single package. It's truly, when I think about plugins, I'm like, it's an app for Claude Code, and that's what you should think about. It combines all the things that Claude Code offers you to integrate separately, and then anyone can create a plugin and send it out to the world, and you can use that. And that's the coolest part here. You can have a plugins which can connect to your apps, where you can be building plugins separately for other applications, and they can all come together. Now, one more thing that I need to show you is that plugins right now, if you see here, I have around 55 plugins, which is not a lot. When you think about the amount of things that you can do with plugins, 55 is not a lot. But that's because we only have access to the Claude official marketplace. So these are the official plugins that Claude is like, kind of working with them or something like that. There are a lot of plugins that are actually created outside, right, again, by other independent developers or other companies. So for that, I can simply come here and actually run a command to add a marketplace. So I'm going to select very simply, I can go to something like this, which is Claude Code plugin marketplace, and add different marketplaces there. So for example, this is Claude Code's official plugin for development specific purposes, and it has 13 plugins in there. I'm going to copy this command, right? And I can come here and very simply, I am going to just come out and paste this, and it will automatically add this marketplace into the plugins repository. This is one way to do it, and the other way is very simply, if you go to plugins and go to marketplaces and points here. So very simply, like let's say we want to get /context 7. So I'm going to go here and say /context 7, and that will also add the marketplace right here. You can see it is automatically cloning all the information and will bring another marketplace here. And you can see here I have 3 marketplaces now, 3 amazing marketplaces. So number of plugins that I had access to before installing them was 55, and now I have 69 different plugins available. And you can see them, like, you can see which ones are from which marketplace in the name, and it's just crazy, like, what you have access to now. And if you're someone who's interested to learn how to build your own plugins so that you can send to people, keep hitting that subscribe button, because I have a video lined up right after this, and I'll see you in the next one.